Welcome on back, everybody, to episode 109 of Stream with the Mouse, where today we are breaking down the season / maybe series finale of Marvel Studios' Hawkeye. Sit back, relax, this is Stream with the Mouse. Welcome on back, everybody, to Stream with the Mouse. My name's Cameron, and joining me as always is my co-host, my co-pilot, Cliff. Cliff, say hello to the nice people.
Hello, everyone, and hashtag save Hawkeye or Hawkeye Season 2, whatever was going on with Twitter the other day.
Need it. It was so good. I'm so excited.
I think there's a ton of ways you can go about it. You can do a Hawkeye Season 2, you can do a movie.
Yeah, really, whatever you want. I would love a Kate Bishop movie.
But did you notice something? Did you notice what the credits are? Did you notice how they build the credits?
Not really.
I believe it was IMDb. It was listed Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton and Haley Steinfeld as Hawkeye.
Oh, really?
They did that. So I think it's officially kind of like. Well, I mean, I think we'll talk about the last a very barn Christmas. I think we knew where it was heading towards.
Yes,
we knew where it was heading towards.
Yeah.
But what a way to end it! This seems like it was like the perfect Christmas gift. It was.
I was literally about to say,
it was wrapped up in a nice perfect bow and handed to us, and then we got our nice little New Year's hangover on Friday. No, Wednesday. On Wednesday.
2 days from recording this.
Book of Boba Fett.
Can't wait.
So,
for our YouTube, oh my god, I have so many books piled up right now. For our YouTube people, I'm getting excited for Book of Boba Fett. I got the helmet.
Very fancy. Very fancy. I have the actual helmet. I have the prototype. I really want
the actual helmet.
I have the prototype helmet.
For now, I got this bad guy. Gonna build this probably tomorrow. I'll probably post this on our social stuff, so that's very exciting. So by tomorrow, I mean the Tuesday before Book of Boba Fett, but very excited to build that. I'm gonna see if I can find the Infinity Gauntlet today, but we'll see.
Barnes & Noble.
I have a bunch of Target gift cards, so I'm trying to stick with Target because I have that. But
you're just gonna be jumping. You're just gonna be jumping from Target to Target, for trying to find out. All the gas money is gone, but don't worry, they're Target gift cards.
Yes.
Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates. Happy holidays. This is the first.
You had Christmas anyway because you got Hawkeye and now you're getting Book of Boba Fett.
Well, there you go. If you're not, you can celebrate the secular, non-religious Christmas.
Yeah.
But before we even get started, we have news. We have one piece of news because I already touched on Book of Boba Fett being on Wednesday. Obviously, Eternals is coming out in 2 weeks, January 11th, I believe.
Encanto came out this past Christmas Eve. I have not watched it yet, though.
I actually might watch it today. I don't even know how to approach this. Lucasfilms accidentally leaked something. They leaked a new Star Wars thing called Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. We don't know what it is. It was part of a vinyl set. They gave them a custom vinyl set. I hope there was also a Christmas bonus with that as well, on top of the toy. Where we don't know anything about it, we now have confirmation there is something being worked on one of the Star Wars studio sets that no one knows. We know that there's several untitled animated shows in the future, and the only thing that we can potentially tie this to is Star Wars Tales of the Jedi was an old comic series made by Lucasfilm in, I don't even know if it has a year. I don't even think there is a year. If I can find it, but it was called Tales of the Jedi.
Okay.
And it was 8 story arcs that all took place. It was Dark Horse Comics that did it. All during 6 of the 8 were during the Old Republic era. And then some of them, it was like the Great Sith War. It was a bunch of stuff. This would be a really interesting way to open up the Old Republic instead of just jumping into Revan and everyone. That's all I can see.
It would be kind of cool if this was done where it was like kind of like Star Wars Visions, where it's canon. It's not canon like Visions is, but if it's canon, individual stories. So kind of like What If a little bit, where like it's individual stories and maybe the last episode or two they bridge together.
Here we go.
Kind of interesting.
These ran between 1993 to 1998. So this is still George Lucas era Star Wars. If this is the path they're going, they might just be hijacking the name.
Right. And that very well could be true.
All Star Wars is good Star Wars.
If you had to guess, do you think this is live action or animated? I think this is animated. Again, we have nothing to go off. This is just my prediction. I think it's going to be an animated show.
I'm going to say live action.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm going to say it.
I want it to be live action.
The only reason I think I'm going to say it is because there is now confirmation of something being filmed on location on studio for an unknown Star Wars project. This is now the only unknown known Star Wars project happening, as I guess a shipment from Amazon arrives. That's the only thing. So if it was animation, no one would know. No one would know because they can be just flying away animation at their studios, and no one will be the wiser to it. So if we have confirmation of something live action, we know it's not Patty Jenkins. We'll get confirmation. We'll get casting because we already know that's coming. This is something brand new.
Right. So we'll see. But I think that was the only big piece of news, I think, this past week. Everything's been pretty quiet with Christmas.
It was a very calm. I know we'll probably do a Spider-Man episode probably near the end of January.
Yeah.
We'll give you all a good month. Then spoilers are a game.
Yes.
I've already posted spoilers on Twitter, so well, kind of. We will see, but I think we'll see. I mean, we're getting the whole new line of High Republic in not even a week.
Yeah, January 4th and I think February 1st.
Even though supposedly the adult novel is already out. People have already been putting it out.
Really?
Multiple people on Reddit have been posting, "Hey, look, I got my copy. Who wants spoilers?"
Ooh, I hope that's at Barnes & Noble later today because they have a 50% off hardcover.
I know, I saw that.
All right, let's get into Hawkeye, I think. Enough about books and Star Wars. We have weeks and weeks and weeks of Star Wars coming up very, very soon with Book of Boba Fett. We'll definitely be talking about that on Streaming the Mouse. But today, let's wrap up the last Marvel project as of right now until May of 2022, which is really sad to say, but what a year of Marvel it's been, and capped off the right way between Spider-Man No Way Home and Hawkeye. So, same thing as always, big points here. The opening for this episode was pretty interesting. So, we see it as like a third person, or we see it from a first person point of view from our side of things, as if we were in the room with Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, and Eleanor Bishop. The way Clint and Kate are seeing this is through their Kate's phone, through a video that Elena took of this incident. But essentially, we get Kate and Eleanor together, kind of how we left off that last episode where they're looking at the phone. They see just a screenshot from a video that Elena took. And basically, it's Eleanor being like, "Hey, listen, I did this for you. Admits I killed Ardmon the Third. I've done all this for you," kind of thing. We learned that Kate's dad was really wrapped up with Wilson Fisk, and when her dad died, Eleanor had to really take over, kind of thing. And they had a really good partnership, but it's getting too close to home now, where now Kate's being involved with this, and Kate is investigating all this stuff, and she's in danger, and Eleanor wants out, kind of thing. So Eleanor's like, "Nope, I'm out." Wilson Fisk is like, "Eleanor, like, take some time, think about this." "Nope, I'm done, I'm out," kind of thing. Really cool scene. I like the way they did it, where we were in the room, but then we like not zoom out, but we cut to Kate and Clint, and I think Grills is there too, watching the video on Kate's phone that we just witnessed that moment. So I like the way it was shot, but really cool. You get a lot of information between the confirmation that Armand was killed by Eleanor, or at least somebody, she hired somebody who potentially, kind of thing. That she set up Jack with Sloan Limited. We get officially that some people, including myself, in the back of my head, I was like, maybe the dad isn't dead. But the dad is dead, and basically we get some confirmation of like why he was acting weird in that first scene in episode 1 in 2012 with the Battle of New York. He was acting weird because he was in deep with the mob. He was in deep with Kingpin. But what were your thoughts on the scene? I thought it was really well done. It was awesome to finally get Vincent D'Onofrio speaking and acting as Kingpin since Daredevil season 3, and obviously besides that, just one screenshot we got at the end of last week's episode.
I really liked it. I want to first talk. They acted like they told him to like be your Netflix character, and he is and he isn't at the same time.
Yeah,
and like and I'm fine with that because personally, I am starting to just look at it as everything um, everything now can be its own universe,
Mhm.
and we know that from What If. So I was like, I kind of liked the idea of all the Netflix shows being in a different universe that very much mirrors ours, but is not 100% there. Because let's be honest, and we're going to talk about it. Kingpin is a unit.
Right.
Kingpin is a unit in this.
Yeah.
He is not like it's. He's very different, and also I wouldn't picture Netflix Kingpin wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
I love that because
I
in the
loved it. I
comics he
loved it because
does,
it was
and
comic-y.
I need a white suit because I think I'm going to be Kingpin for Halloween next year now.
You should do that. But
I
I
think I'm
just
going to do
saying,
that.
I don't. That is not what Netflix Kingpin
No,
would wear.
black
That's
suit
it.
in the shadow. Yeah, yeah. But I
So,
liked. I was fine with that. A lot of
oh,
people had some complaints.
I loved the concept. I'm just saying, I don't like how they're trying to be like, maybe it is the Netflix one. I'm like, no,
No,
it's not.
it is definitely there's a. I can't pinpoint exactly, but there is a difference between his portrayal in this show versus Daredevil. Some people had a lot of complaints with that. I don't think it's that much of a variance of it, and I don't
No,
mean to speak like Loki talk. Like I don't think there is that much of a difference in his performance. But something was there that like was like, okay, it's a little different, but I'm okay with that. It's not a big deal to me at all. I don't care. He was still awesome, and I loved having Kingpin in this episode, and we'll talk about if we'll see him again. I don't know. We'll see.
but I liked the theory that it was the dad. I thought that could have been cool. I didn't picture that actor being
I'm
playing
glad
a
it didn't happen.
villain. It also kind of makes me think: what if she took care of him during the events of the Battle of New York?
Maybe.
Oh, he accidentally was killed. What if she pushed him out the window? Something like
Yeah,
that.
'cause she was like, oh my god, all these debts we're in right now because of the Kingpin. But
because of
anything else
him,
on
not
this?
because of the Kingpin, because of him.
Yes.
It was really interesting because she was really like, "Oh, I've benefited so much now, and now I'm only trying to get out because my daughter's close to figuring out
Yeah.
what I did." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're." I definitely believe she loves Kate.
Yes,
I
me too. I do.
100% stand
Yep.
by. She absolutely went down this villainous role for 100% for her daughter. She
I
just
think
happened to benefit from it too much.
she's done some really crappy things, and I don't even want to say she's a good person because she definitely
No, she's not. I'm not
she's
saying
not.
she's a good
But she
person at
definitely
all.
loves Kate. That's no question about it. Loves Kate, and Kate loves her, but recognizes like, mom, you're kind of shitty. Like we gotta no.
You're more than that.
Yeah. So,
Mom,
um,
you're a mafia, pretty much right under the Kingpin.
yeah. Okay, this is a lot to talk about, I think, but we're gonna wrap everything in this in one thing. Essentially, Kate and Clint, they suit up. They wear these awesome new costumes that the LARPing group had made for them. Even Clint wears his underneath his nice suit kind of thing, and Kate's all excited, like, "Oh my god, you wore it! Like it's so sweet." But they go to this big Christmas gala because they want to confront Eleanor because they now have this video of Kingpin and Eleanor's confession and stuff like that. Kate wants to confront her mother before she brings her to justice, kind of thing. So they go to this big event, and all hell breaks loose. The tracksuit mafia is there with Kazi and the rest of the guys trying to go and kill Clint. Elena is there trying to go. Oh, actually, they're trying to kill Clint and Kate, I guess. Elena is there trying to kill Clint. Everything goes to shit, basically. It's a very, very fun action scene where a lot is going on. You have Elena going after Clint and Kate trying to like stop her, kind of thing. You have Clint being a badass, just shooting off arrows and almost being killed a bunch of times. Just a really cool scene. You get this awesome fight scene outside too, where a bunch of the LARPing folks, they put on their LARPing things and they try to help people escape the building while also fighting the tracksuit mafia alongside Kate. Jack is out of prison and he's also fighting outside, and turns out, oh, he wasn't bad. He's just kind of an idiot kind of thing who's good at swords, and he just got wrapped up in this whole thing by accident, and he was none the wiser to it. Withstanding the fight that we're going to talk about with Maya and the fight between Kingpin and Kate that we're also going to talk about, and the fight scene on the ice, the building fight itself, outside, inside. Cliff, what were your thoughts on it? Not Clint. Sorry, you're not Clint. Sorry,
I'm not Clint.
No
I'm
offense.
not.
It's a lot going on. I know.
Jack was straight up murdering people outside.
It was awesome.
Like
Jack
he
was
wasn't
awesome. I like Jack in this.
like Jack wasn't going to jail for the Armand stuff because I think they figured out that it wasn't him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was straight up murdering guys with his sword outside trying to protect Kate.
Self-defending.
Very good father-in-law.
Yes,
I'll give him that.
Well,
and
maybe not anymore, but
I mean, I don't even know. It's been like all the episodes blend together at this point because I'm like, I remember at some point I'm like, what if he's not? What if he's not? He was the red herring, and I'm glad he was. He could easily get turned down a villainous route if they so choose.
I don't think in this one he is. This universe, he's just a bumbling.
He would need to lose it all for it to happen, but it could happen. I really liked that. Kazi showed his true colors. Mm-hmm. We know that for a fact. And the tracksuit mafia is really like the perfect amount of like kind of scary to comedic gold at the same time. So this was all a really well done scene. We're not going to talk about Kate and Elena in this part of it.
No, this we can definitely include them in this part right now. Yes, so it's not on the ice. We'll talk about the ice in a little.
Yes, not on the ice. So we have these awesome situations where Kate and Elena's trying to kill Clint, and Kate's main job is to stop. And they have this incredible banter back and forth.
It's perfect. It's comedy, action, adventure, all of it wrapped up into one scene. Besides, my favorite scene in this entire show is the scene on the ice, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But this is up there number 2 because it was everything you wanted between the combination of the macaroni and cheese scene in episode 5, but with action, adventure, and fight scenes. It was a really good combo.
And they interviewed the director, and the director said how when they were working together, he just kept filming after the point. Like he didn't, like they were just, a lot of it was back and forth banter that they were doing on their own, which was great. I thought that was a really impressive way to like show them and just their chemistry all together. The elevator scene was hilarious, especially with the little slap.
Awesome.
And like TikTok has really had a field day with like making them funnier with doing like extra added zooms and all this added like conversation around it, which has just made it so much more. I'm trying to think. Elena has absolutely turned into a poser. She does not do the Nat, like the pose. If you're on YouTube, you can see it. But she does the thing. She throws it, and she always backflips out of a building. That she's a poser. She's a poser.
That. But no, that elevator scene's awesome. I'm assuming you're listening to this, you know what we're talking about. But
I'd hope so.
Funny. Kate's trying to press all the elevator buttons to slow Elena down.
Buddy the elf, what's your favorite color?
Yes, Elena knows what floor Clint is on because it said 12 right before. And as she keeps trying to hit the button, stuff like that, Elena keeps putting her in these graphs, and Kate keeps getting out of them. Finally, she slaps her. It was hilarious.
Why would you?
Gets to touch all the buttons. It was just a really good scene. Anything else on this? It was a lot going on. I didn't really know how to make a note for this when we were making notes for this episode.
There's a lot going on. Building fight scene.
It says building fight scene. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Anything else on this?
What a great scene though.
Awesome. Let's talk about Maya. Maya gets some good moments in here where she definitely killed somebody and maybe killed another one. Maya, who in the beginning of the episode, she kind of plays it cool with Kingpin, because after Eleanor meets with Kingpin, she basically goes and is like, listen, I've been angry. My anger's gotten the best of me. I just need a couple days off. I'm going to cool down. I'm going to stop looking for the Ronin, and we'll be good. Kingpin's like, yep, that's fine. I love you so much, because he looks to her like a daughter. And when she leaves, Kazi looks at Kingpin, and Kingpin goes like, she needs to go. Like she's not giving up on this kind of thing. She's going to potentially expose me on something. So Kazi, she's got to go. Well, Maya goes. She confronts Kazi, who was trying to kill Clint, and also Kate at some point too. And they get into this awesome fight where obviously they have a very big brother-sister relationship. So it's a lot of pain, but also like necessity. So they have to fight because they're on opposite sides, but it's painful because they were on the same side for so long. They have that, if not brother and sister relationship, then definitely a romantic one. I took it as more brother and sister than anything. But they have this fight scene, and they're both trying to kill each other, and Maya ends up getting the better of Kazi and definitely helps him stab himself in the stomach, and Kazi dies at the hands of Maya, and it's a very sad, emotional scene. But thoughts on that before we move to the other part?
I don't think Kazi's dead.
Oh, he's dead. Cliff, he's dead.
I think it could be very much the thing where, I mean, if anyone's curious, in the comics, he's a crazy clown.
Yes. I think he's dead, and we'll talk about why I think he's dead in a little bit.
It's just so sad because he was such a good actor.
He was great. I like Cassie as a character a lot. I thought he brought a lot to the table in the show.
See, and this is the thing. I don't think everything needs to be a romantic thing. I kind of felt like it was a little romantic between, at least I felt like she had feelings towards him, and I think he probably didn't, just in the fact that he knew, because he didn't want her to even be in that life. He didn't want her to be in that life. And it was like one of those very like heartbreaking, like you have to kill someone that you care so much about. And I don't know. I hope he's not dead. The thing with that though is, and this was a really interesting thing, because there are two types of people. No one is indifferent to, where are we in phase 4 right now? Mm-hmm. No one is indifferent to phase 4. You either really like phase 4 or you really hate it. There's no in between.
I don't think I've seen anybody really hate phase 4. I've seen no one.
You can probably guess who. A similar thing to the fandom menace.
If you're listening to this and you hate phase 4, you are a
well,
loser.
Why would you be listening?
Don't listening to this.
At this point,
unsubscribe. One star review. Don't listen to this. You're a loser.
But why they are leaning so much in to the comics? Finally, they have set in the realism. And this is what my brother says about, like, Seinfeld. Really early seasons are very much based in realism, and they get a lot more and more far-fetched after they have built this trust with you. We're at the point where
that they didn't all go to jail because they didn't help the Good Samaritan
law in Massachusetts, but like, they get so much more and more outlandish, and we're at the part where we're getting comic accurate. We're getting comic accurate suits. Yeah. We're getting weird versions of time travel. We're getting multiverse explained in a way that's actually pretty easy to understand. And it's just getting to this part where it's actually, you're like, oh yeah, it's a little bit crazy. Oh, Wanda controls a whole town, but I get it. Now I have enough trust with them to do it. I will take that leap, because I know you'll catch me falling down at this point.
Fair. No, it was really good. Now, I do want to talk about one more Maya scene, but I think for timeline order, we got to talk about something else. So we got this big battle. Kate was trying to confront Eleanor before the battle began. Eleanor kind of escapes. Kate tracks her down, but also Kingpin tracks Eleanor down, because not only does Kingpin want Maya out, he wants Eleanor out because he doesn't want Eleanor to squeal anything and whatever. He tries like attacking Eleanor. They do this big crash scene in the toy store where I think Kate takes the car and drives into Kingpin before he can kill Eleanor. Kate and Kingpin have this awesome fight scene where basically Kate sucks. It reminded me very much of the end of episode 1, where she was really overpowered by the Tracksuit Mafia. She's very much overpowered by Kingpin. No matter how many arrows, no matter how many punches she throws, Kingpin is a unit. He's that much stronger and tougher. Maybe not tougher, but that much stronger than her. And I think that's fair to say, because
tough is in thick skin.
Thick skin, yeah. Not going to get hurt easily. Very powerful. He can just manhandle people because he's so big, which is awesome.
And that's why he's not the Netflix. That's why he's not the Netflix Kingpin.
That Kingpin can do stuff, but he's not.
But not on. He can't get
you across the room.
He can't get wrecked by a car.
He's smashing that car door and boom, boom, boom in your face.
But he can't get wrecked by a car.
Yeah. But really cool scene. Kate, unlike the first episode where Clint kind of saves the day, when it's Kate in the rodent suit kind of thing, Kate's able to save herself. They made some trick arrows earlier in this episode, which is a really fun scene. Kate has the nice little label maker, which I think is funny because she was very big, like, you should really have some labels on these because some are really explosive. And she actually basically explodes the store with one of the arrows. Again, Kingpin is a unit. You think, oh my god, did she kill Kingpin? Nope, because the police come, they find Eleanor. Kate's not there anymore. But Kingpin's also not there, and he is not dead. But what was your thoughts on the scene? I really liked it. I thought it showed how tenacious Kate was and how resourceful was, because Kingpin, on paper, Kingpin should win that fight 20 out of 20 times. But Kate's resourcefulness, her resilience was really great, and I think builds her up as a hero while also building up the MCU version of Kingpin to be just a I'm gonna say it again, a unit, a person to be not messed with, kind of thing. But Kate gets the better of him.
I wouldn't even say she wins. She only wins on the technicality that her mom drives a car into Kingpin and he decides to run away. He decides, okay, this isn't worth it at this point. It shows a realism. It shows Kate being the hero she can be, while also showing she's still a kid. She's still learning into this. She's still leaning into this role as she learns more and more, which is a good way to do it.
It's okay for her to be overpowered by this villain.
Exactly.
But still, like, that's fine. And that's what I like. I think that's a great way to describe it, Cliff. Like you said, it's realism. Because the good guy doesn't always have to win easily. It doesn't always have to be a clean fight kind of thing. The hero wins sometimes scrappily, sometimes just barely, or just by being able to say they survived, they win kind of thing. In this case, Kate wins because she's able to survive. Unfortunately, the cops can't catch Kingpin at this point and bring him to justice. But just a really, really cool scene. I love that it was again at a toy store, made that big Christmas feel. I thought it was really cool. Any other thoughts on this before we shift back to Maya?
No, we can keep going because I know you want to talk about this next scene before we get to the grand finale.
So Maya confronts Kingpin, okay? And the reason I think Kazi is dead is because Kazi gets stabbed by himself through Maya kind of thing, and we see him. Maya confronts Kingpin. We see she has a gun. We get a cutaway. We just hear a gunshot. We do not see a dead body. No one is ever dead, in my opinion, unless you see a dead body, which makes me think, I don't think Kingpin's dead. I think she definitely shot him, but he's a unit. I don't think he's dead.
Unless you're Stannis Baratheon.
Facts. But this is not that universe. But do you think Kingpin is dead, yes or no?
No.
No,
I do not at all. I do not at all.
I said this. If he died, I would go. Where's Marvel? I don't know where Marvel is located. I don't like Lucasfilms in San Francisco. I will march to Marvel Studios and be like, why did you do this just for one episode? Because that would just be torture if they did that just for one episode.
I would laugh so hard because I accidentally would have called it. That would be hilarious to me because I remember I said that to you 2 episodes in or whatever it was to Hawkeye.
Yeah.
No,
she definitely shot him. Like some people saying, oh, maybe she shot this guy. No, she like Aaron Burr style or Alexander Hamilton style. No, she definitely shot him. I think he's just gonna survive.
Okay, there's a comic that we know. We won't even talk about the comic where it leaves him blind. I think it's neither of those. I think it's neither of these dead nor blinded. I think it's going to be the thing where he was so nervous, and it starts to show Echo's resourcefulness, where he's like, this needs to be the first scene in the Echo show, and we know we're getting it, is his eyes are closed because he's nervous, he's about to get shot in the head. The gunshot goes off with him up close. He opens his eyes, and she's gone. And behind him, like, she shot like right to his ear or something like that. And it would be interesting if she did it where she shot it in the ear where it goes deaf in one ear, like something like that to make it more symbolic towards Echo's character. That's how I want it to go, because I feel like blinding him takes away certain parts of his character in the MCU. It can work. I'm just personally, I think it would show something, because it would also be showing that Maya is better than him. You don't fight, and that's the whole thing. That's what they were trying to pretty much say. And she was saying that towards the end, where me going on this crazy thing to avenge my father, killing the Ronin isn't going to bring my father back. And it might not even help at all.
Yeah. And here's the thing. If Kingpin dies in a future series, that's fine. You can't bring him back for one episode and then one picture in an episode and kill him. You can't. If he dies in Echo, I think you'll be earned because you got that arc kind of thing. I don't want him to die in Echo because I need to see him and Charlie Cox on the screen together at some point. So I need that to happen.
I don't think they're going to kill him at all, because I think what it's going to be...
But if they do, it's earned.
What it's going to be, it's Echo, we know, is a little bit more of a loose cannon. She's completely fine killing someone. We know that. We know she is. Or is she now? A really cool thing would be Charlie Cox's Daredevil and Echo bonding, and him kind of playing the you don't need to kill people. That's not what you need to do. And I think if they ever want, I mean, Vincent D'Onofrio, we know, will play this till he's 6 feet under this role. A really good way to do it is to have him go to jail. Because that, to me, if he dies, it doesn't matter. because his whole thing, if putting him in jail makes him powerless, but then it gives you the option of, oh, he makes a mob in prison, but taking away his power isn't killing him. It's putting him behind bars where he no longer has access to that power.
Yeah. And this is the last thing we'll really talk about Kingpin, unless you have anything else. But I really hope we get him. Like, I like that we got a comic book accurate like costume where he had the Hawaiian shirts and stuff like that, like he did in that one issue. I hope we get him in the big white suit with like that orangish yellowish vest and the big purple pants. I hope we get that. That'll be awesome to see.
Absolutely.
But anything else on this before we move on to probably the most heartbreaking scene in the show?
Oh, I love a good heartbreak.
So I've mentioned this a couple times, the ice scene on Rockefeller Center. Clint gets trapped in the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. He gets down because Kate uses an acid arrow. I didn't really like that. I don't know why Clint jumped off the building. I don't know why he couldn't just get off this tree.
Because he's old. He's getting old, Cam.
It's fine. Tracksuit Mafia comes. Maya they fight off the Tracksuit Mafia. Kazi's there. He's gonna kill him. Maya takes care of him, so that's all set. We still got Elena on the heels trying to kill Clint. We get this awesome scene of Clint and Kate versus Elena. Kate kind of goes away too because she's going to try to find her mom, and she goes and confronts Kingpin like we spoke about already. And Elena wants to finish the job, and they have this conversation back and forth like, nope, I didn't. It's not just that she was hired, because the hiring thing I don't think matters to her anymore. At this point, she wants vengeance and revenge for Clint killing Natasha, which we know he didn't do, and he's trying to convince her like, no. At one point, Elena has him in his crosshairs, basically. Clint is out and out for the count. Elena has the chance to kill him kind of thing. And right before she can, he does the little whistle that we recognize from Black Widow, the whatever that whistle is kind of thing. It's the same one that Natasha and Elena used to use when they were kids, and then in the Black Widow movie as well, to signal it to each other. And it's so sweet that like Natasha talked about Yelena to Clint to the point that he knew that secret little whistle, and it's enough to stop Yelena in the tracks. And then Clint is finally able to talk to her and be like, "This is what happened. You loved her. I loved her too. She was my best friend. She was your sister. She always talked about you. She talked about that plane ride that she flew, that we see in Black Widow, and how brave you were and all this stuff. Like, she loved you and she adored you. She sacrificed herself." And it finally clicks for Yelena, and they have this big motion, like, I miss her, and Clint's like, I miss her too. And Yelena is able to accept the fact that, okay, this guy was her friend. He didn't kill Natasha, but they're both still heartbroken. And this is something that Phase 4 of Marvel has been doing so well, is dealing with grief. We saw it, no spoilers in No Way Home, but kind of, not really.
You could have gone for Vision. You could have gone for the Vision line.
You see, no, but I'm saying in general, in Phase 4, you see grief in No Way Home. You see tons of grief in WandaVision. You see grief in this. You see grief in Black Widow as well. Tons of grief and tons of emotions are being explored with these characters that brings that more realism to these characters and makes them feel real, even when they're in ridiculous costumes kind of thing. It's so funny how lifelike and real life these characters are, and how we can connect to these superhero beings. And that's the beauty of comics, and this is the beauty of fiction, that even though these people have the craziest powers in the world that you and I can only dream of, there are people underneath, and we can connect to them in that way, even though they can shoot webs or make a whole city go under their control. It's really, really cool and interesting. And we get that again here. Even though Yelena and Clint don't have superpowers, they're still heroes. They save the day, and they're able to have that connection, but it's really, really beautiful.
You actually bring that up at a good point before I go into it, and I tweeted about it where I personally think that Kate's line in when they have their heart to heart is one of the best things. I personally put it up there with the what is grief if not love persisting, where she talks about how Hawkeye showed her that you don't have to be super to be a hero. You don't have to have these incredible powers or this $1 billion suit. It's for someone that's brave enough to step up for what's right when it matters. And that, to me, that's something like, not everyone has to handle grief at every stage, not everything,
Sure.
but there's something like that where someone that wants to do better every day can hear this and be like, that actually, and it can push someone to do something that they
Yep.
might not have done, because they know that even though I may not have these powers, I can still do something to make a difference.
Yeah.
And that to me was something, that line really stood out to me in this whole, in everything in Phase 4, personally.
Yeah. That's a great point, Cliff.
To be on a more lighter side, don't know why my brain works like this. My first thought when the Christmas tree came tumbling down is, how much money did Kate just destroy? If anyone is curious, even though New York City, the city of New York does not pay for it, the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree costs about $74,000.
That's nothing. Kate Bishop can pay for that.
Well, she just
They got
came
the
into
kingpin
a
money.
she just came into a lot of money. So.
Yes, she did.
But yes, that I felt like that. I looked that up during. I'm like, oh my god, she just toppled a $80,000 tree.
Yep. Yep.
Way to go, Kate Bishop.
But anything else on this scene, Cliff?
I think that's what Elena needed.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clint needed that also.
It's a little closure, but not. Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff that they both needed, because it let them both. It was the only two people on Earth that could talk about that.
Yeah.
That could help each other. Like, yes,
not really know. Everybody knew who the real Natasha was.
Exactly. Only those two really did, and Nick Fury.
Yeah.
But to everyone in the world, he's dead.
Okay. Yes. Anything else on that scene before we get to the final two little things I want to talk about?
Let's get to those fine little two things.
Clint makes it home for Christmas on time. He brings Kate. They bring Lucky together. It's very cute. They have a nice little Christmas because Kate is obviously kind of without a family. She doesn't have a dad. The mom's in jail kind of thing. But Hawkeye's become her little surrogate family, and the family embraces her really nicely. We get this nice little scene where Clint gives the Rolex to Laura, and there's a S.H.I.E.L.D. logo on the back, basically confirming that she was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that's probably how they met, and she retired probably, so she could take care of the kids or whatever, while Clint stayed in the S.H.I.E.L.D., but a nice little scene there, and we get
Whoa. Did you not see what was on the watch?
To say Agent 19?
It said 19 on it.
Oh, sorry. I thought I mentioned that. Sorry. It says Agent 19, so we get confirmation she's Agent 19.
So, which is Mockingbird.
Yes.
It's a very cool thing.
Clint has this nice little scene where he's like, maybe somebody should take better care of their stuff. Again, implying that this was your watch, and there you go. So she gets to keep her identity a little bit, which is also nice. We get this one scene too, while they're at the Barton household, where Clint's like, hey, Kate, I need your help with something. And they go out to the grill and they burn the Hawkeye, or excuse me, not the Hawkeye suit, the Ronin suit. And basically, Ronin's gone. Clint's able to finally move on a little bit, especially he's got to have that closure with Elena about Natasha. He's able to move on from the crimes or the bad things that he might have done when he was Ronin. He wants to move forward. Kate's trying to come up with a name for herself, like Lady Hawk or Hawk Eve or something like that. And Clint says, I got an idea. And the show cuts off to just the Hawkeye title. So essentially, Kate is going to take up the Hawkeye mantle, just like you said, Cliff, where it's the Jeremy Renner was Clint Barton, and that Kate Bishop, Haley Steinfeld played Hawkeye. So Kate has the title of Hawkeye as well as probably Clint. But really nice little closing scene here. Makes it home for Christmas. The kids are all excited. I loved it. I also loved how Clint's daughter and Kate embraced too, because Clint and Kate are never supposed to have a brother-sister relationship or romantic relationship. It's kind of like that father-daughter experience kind of thing, and it was cute to see Clint's quote-unquote two daughters, his real one, and then Kate coming together. I thought was really cute as well.
Yeah, I really liked the end credit scene. It was exactly what we wanted, them to have a nice Christmas together.
Yes. Now, should we talk about the post-credit scene?
Do we have to? I liked it.
Post-credit scene was just a big music video. They released after they went to Rogers the Musical in the first episode. We get little pieces of that whole scene from the musical, Rogers the Musical. But then the full song was released. So at some point, I was expecting are we gonna get a music video or something where they show them singing the whole song? Because the whole song's on Spotify. It was as soon as episode 1 was over, you could already download that. The end credit scene just said "Happy Holidays from Marvel Studios," and it was that. What's funny is the guy in the suit that sings, so he's not one of the Avengers people. That guy, I saw him a couple months ago. He was the lead in Pretty Woman. So that was pretty funny to me. I literally saw him in Pretty Woman.
They paid a lot of money for that.
Yeah, he won a Tony, I believe, or he was nominated for a Tony. I forget, maybe for Rent, I think. I can't remember his name. I'm not big of a theater person, but we go to some shows. But I literally saw him at Providence Performing Arts Center like 2 months ago, maybe, and there he is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a place. So that was pretty funny.
So supposedly there were 2 scrapped post-credit scenes. And
Is that the rumor?
And we have a confirmed one. We have a confirmed one that one of them was supposed to be the owl taking the bros to its nest. The shrunk down bros to its nest. That was supposed to be one of them. Supposedly there's a rumor that the other one that was on the table was actually showing the fate of Kingpin.
I'm glad they didn't show that. I'd rather this little crappy jokey one than that. I don't want to know. I want to see Kingpin in either She-Hulk, because we know Daredevil's going to be in that, or Echo. Give me them in that. I don't want to see them again until those.
I think you would have made... I thought it was fun. I'll end with this. I thought it was a fun one.
Holidays.
If the last thing, though, panned to one important character in Phase 4 being there, it would have taken it from a fun thing to this is actually cool. But someone also brought up a good point where...
Could you imagine if the Richards family was there?
Or even the Khan family.
Oh my god, that would have been
There could have been so many
sick.
things. However, someone made a point, and I actually like it. Are we going to the movies? Are we watching these shows for the show itself, or for it to set up what's next?
Both.
Can we not enjoy what it does in the moment?
No.
And that's the issue.
No, I don't think it's an issue.
I thought, and the way I put it, the Rogers the Musical number was the perfect amount of cringe and fun at the same time, because it makes you cringe a little. You're like, oh my god. Especially when you're a Broadway person, you're like, is that how people see me? Because this is like an over-the-top version of it. I'm like, is this how people see me? But yeah, I liked that point. I do wish they showed someone, but I'm okay that they didn't.
Yeah,
I am
it's fine. I
Exactly.
did like that they said, like, Happy Holidays, and here, we know this isn't what you probably were expecting. But here you go, guys.
Exactly.
Like, it was fine. It was fun. It was fun. It wasn't what I would have wanted in an end credit scene, but whatever. It's still fun. Cliff, any more or final thoughts on Hawkeye as a series? I guess. Or if you have any more on this episode, I have no more thoughts on this episode. But Hawkeye as a series, how was it for you? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What do you think?
I really loved the series. I think you saw my tweet that I said if I was ranking all the Marvel shows so far, 1A is Loki, 1B is Hawkeye, 1C is WandaVision, and 2 is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Where do you put What If in there?
Below Falcon and Winter Soldier. That would be 3.
There. So for me, my rankings, I had Loki 1, WandaVision 2, Hawkeye 3, Falcon and Winter Soldier 4, What If 5. If people are interested, I think I posted this already too, but out of every Marvel show, movie, whatever, Hawkeye ranked 16th for me. It was right underneath Spider-Man Homecoming, right above Captain America, the First Avenger. I really liked Hawkeye. The cast was unbelievable. Haley Steinfeld, honestly, could be up for an Emmy, I think, for how good she did in this show.
The issue is they missed the Emmy, Golden Globes are out. So yeah, she could actually be up for an Emmy.
Yeah, wouldn't she be next cycle for Emmy?
Yeah, it's just a long time away.
That's fine, but I think she could. Honestly, Florence could be up for supporting actress, potentially, because she was great in this too. Just very, very fun. I really enjoyed the show. I can't wait to see Kate Bishop and Elena, for that matter. I can't wait to see their stories continue. I'm excited to see Maya's story continue. I'm obviously excited to see Kingpin's story continue. So we have 4 really cool characters, and maybe we'll get Clint too, but I especially want to see what happens to Yelena, what happens to Kate, what happens to Kingpin, and what happens to Maya, but especially the 3 women. We obviously know Echo's coming, but hopefully Kate, we see her somewhere. I know that there's rumors we might see her in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, which would be really cool. Yelena, we don't really have anything that we know of, but we'll see what happens. But love this show. Cliff, anything else for today's episode?
2 days until Book of Boba Fett. That's all I can say.
Next time you listen to us, Book of Boba Fett will be out. We will be talking about it. We're very excited for it. Cliff, if people want to talk about Hawkeye, if people want to talk about Book of Boba Fett with you, Boba Fett, whatever.
Oh,
with
Boba
you.
Bo? You can
How can they reach out to you?
you can find me at CP Robinson 81.
And you can find me on Twitter at CamRamos95. You can find us on Twitter at Stream the Mouse. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Streaming with Mouse. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and our YouTube channel. Just be sure to search for Streaming with the Mouse podcast. Make sure you like, rate, review, 5 stars, all the above. And unless, like I said, if you hate everything about Phase 4 and you're a loser, don't listen to these. You're allowed to hate parts of Phase 4. Like, there are little things that I was like, whatever, fine. But if you hate everything in Phase 4, you're a crazy person, I think, and I don't know what you're doing listening to this podcast. But whatever. So, again, rate, review, 5-star. We want to make sure as many people can listen to these as possible. We're super excited to get back into Star Wars. We haven't been able to talk Star Wars really on this podcast since Bad Batch. So, and this is the first live-action Star Wars we're going to be able to talk about since last year. When we talked about the Mandalorian. Cliff, before we wrap up, I know I just did the wrap up. Who are 3 characters you think you might get to see in Book of Boba Fett that we haven't seen in trailers yet?
Let's do 2 easies, 2 I'm going to guess, and 1, oh, this is a long shot.
Okay.
You want to do that?
You're going to guess.
Real, like, I think a real possibility. I'm going to pick a really cheesy one, a really easy one. Bosk.
Okay.
I'm going to go really easy on that. My medium one is going to be Cad Bane. And my, oh crap, this is going to be insane, is Kira.
I'm going to go all 3 of whatever I want. Cad Bane, I want Cad Bane in the worst way. Kira is my long shot, but I'll be pumped if she's in it. I agree with that one. But I also agree with Cad Bane. Bosk is too easy. I think Bosk.
That's why I'm taking the slow pitch.
Bosk is definitely going to be in this series. There's no way if he isn't, I'll be shocked. Number 3, I think we're going to see. I hope. I really, really hope. I want Black Cassarian, who is the giant Wookiee with the dreads, who's in some of the comics. So you have to be a comic book reader. He features in the Star Wars main series line, especially the series that they did before this, whereas between episode 4 and 5, right now they're in between 5 and 6 is where the comics are. But in between 4 and 5, he's a big part of Dr. Aphra's comics too. Dr. Aphra would be also live action. Dr. Aphra would be sick.
I don't think we're leaving Tatooine. Just be prepared.
Cad Bane, I think, is a very real possibility. Could be in this series. I guess I didn't know this until like I wanted Black Cassarian to come in so bad, but like I guess there's like something that the production team got where it's like Boba Fett and he's like facing a bunch of people and one of them was a Wookiee. So I think that would be cool if he's in it. I'll be super, super pumped. But very excited for Book of Boba Fett. That's when we'll talk to you next. Thank you so much for listening to everybody. Have a magical day. May the Force be with you. Avengers Assemble, all that fun stuff.
Bye, guys.